Imagine standing on the edge of the world, where rugged mountains meet misty valleys, where ancient castles rise proudly above shimmering lochs, and where every winding road seems to lead to a story waiting to be discovered. Scotland is not just a destination, it's a journey through time, nature, and legend. From hidden coastal escapes to secret islands untouched by crowds, this cinematic adventure in 4K will reveal the country's most breathtaking landscapes, its historic treasures, and the hidden gems you can't afford to miss. Get ready to experience Scotland like never before. Imagine standing at the edge of a world where the wind carries whispers of ancient legends, where every mountain, every coastline, and every stone seems to hold a story older than time itself. This is not just a place you visit, this is a place you feel. Welcome to Scotland, where mystery and beauty collide, where nature is raw, untamed, and endlessly captivating. From the very first moment, you realize this journey is not about destinations, it's about stepping into a living story. As the camera rises slowly above the rugged Highlands, a vast landscape unfolds. Rolling hills stretch endlessly beneath a sky that shifts between soft light and dramatic cloud. There's a quiet power here, something almost overwhelming in its simplicity. The air feels different, cleaner, sharper, filled with the scent of earth and rain. You don't just see Scotland, you breathe it in. The Highlands are more than mountains. They are a symbol of resilience, shaped by time, weather, and history. As mist drifts across the peaks, it creates a scene that feels almost unreal, like something out of a dream. Light breaks through the clouds, casting golden beams across the valleys, revealing textures and colors that constantly change with every passing second. It's a place where no two moments are ever the same. Driving along narrow, winding roads, the landscape keeps surprising you. One moment, you're surrounded by towering cliffs, and the next, you're looking out over a vast, open valley that seems to stretch forever. Small rivers cut through the land, reflecting the sky like mirrors. Sheep graze peacefully, adding a sense of calm to an otherwise wild environment. There's a rhythm here, a balance between stillness and movement. And then, there are the castles. Standing tall against the elements, they rise from the land like guardians of the past. Weathered stone walls, ancient towers, and quiet ruins tell stories of battles, kings, and centuries gone by. As you approach one, you can almost imagine the echoes of footsteps, the voices that once filled these halls. These structures are not just historical landmarks, they are living memories carved into the landscape. As the journey continues, the coastline begins to reveal itself. Dramatic cliffs drop into the crashing waves below, where the Atlantic Ocean shows its true power. The sound of the water hitting the rocks is both calming and intense, a reminder of nature's force. Seabirds circle overhead, carried effortlessly by the wind. Standing here, looking out at the endless horizon, you feel both small and connected to something much bigger. But Scotland isn't just about grandeur, it's also about quiet, hidden beauty. Tucked away between hills and along the coast are small villages where life moves at a slower pace. Stone cottages with glowing windows, narrow streets, and friendly faces create a sense of warmth that contrasts with the rugged surroundings. There's a charm here that feels genuine, untouched by time. As evening approaches, the entire landscape begins to transform. The light softens, turning the hills into shades of gold and amber. Shadows grow longer, and the sky becomes a canvas of deep blues and fiery oranges. This is Scotland at its most magical, when the day fades and the land seems to glow from within. And just when you think the experience couldn't become more powerful, the night arrives. Far from the noise of cities, the sky opens up in a way that feels almost infinite. Stars fill the darkness, shining brighter than you've ever seen. The silence is complete, broken only by the distant sound of the wind. It's a moment of pure connection with nature, with history, and with yourself. This is only the beginning of a journey through Scotland, a land where every path leads to something unforgettable, where every view feels like a scene from a story waiting to be told. And as you stand there, surrounded by beauty that feels both ancient and alive, one thing becomes clear. This is not just a place you explore. It's a place that stays with you, long after you've left. What if there was a place on Earth that felt like it didn't belong to this world at all? Where jagged mountains rise, like ancient giants, where waterfalls vanish into mist, and where every step feels like you've crossed into a living legend? Welcome to the Isle of Skye, Scotland's most mysterious and breathtaking escape, where nature doesn't just exist, it performs. As the journey begins, the road to Skye itself feels like a transition, into something otherworldly. Crossing the sky bridge, the mainland slowly disappears behind you, and ahead lies a land sculpted by time, weather, and myth. The air changes. It feels wilder, freer, untouched. And with every mile, the landscapes grow more dramatic, more surreal, pulling you deeper into sky's spell. The first glimpse of the Eilean Mountains stops you in your tracks. Sharp, dark peaks pierce through the sky, often wrapped in clouds that move like slow, drifting smoke. There's something powerful about them, intimidating yet beautiful. These aren't gentle hills. They are raw, untamed formations that command respect. As light shifts across their surfaces, shadows dance, revealing details that feel almost alive. And then, hidden within this rugged terrain, you find one of Skye's most magical secrets, the fairy pools. Crystal clear water flows gently over smooth stones, forming a series of shimmering blue pools that look almost unreal. The water reflects the sky so perfectly that it blurs the line between above and below. As you walk alongside the stream, the only sounds are the soft rush of water and the wind brushing across the land. It's peaceful, yet filled with an unspoken energy, as if this place holds stories no one has fully uncovered. Moving further across the island, the landscapes continue to transform. The Quirang reveals itself like something from another planet, rolling green cliffs, twisted into impossible shapes, towering rock formations rising dramatically from the earth. Walking here feels like stepping into a fantasy. The ground beneath your feet seems to shift between softness and stone, while the horizon stretches endlessly in every direction. It's the kind of place where you lose track of time, where every turn reveals a new perspective, more breathtaking than the last. Along the coastline, Skye shows a different kind of beauty. Wild, untamed, and endlessly powerful. Cliffs drop sharply into the ocean, where waves crash with relentless force. The wind is stronger here, carrying the scent of salt and the sound of distant storms. Standing at the edge, looking out across the open sea, you feel a sense of freedom that's hard to describe. It's not just the view, it's the feeling of being part of something vast and unstoppable. And yet, even in all this wildness, there are moments of quiet calm. Small, scattered houses sit alone against the landscape, their warm lights glowing softly as the day fades. These homes feel like part of the land itself, blending into the hills and valleys as if they've always been there. Life here moves differently, slower, simpler, more connected to nature. As the sun begins to set, Skye transforms once again. Golden light spills across the mountains, turning the rugged terrain into something almost gentle. The fairy pools glow with deeper shades of blue, while the cliffs catch the last light of the day, creating a contrast between shadow and brilliance that feels cinematic in every sense. It's a moment that doesn't last long, but stays with you forever. And when night falls, the island becomes something else entirely. The skies, free from city lights, reveal a universe of stars stretching endlessly above. The silence deepens, and the landscapes that once felt dramatic now feel calm, almost protective. It's as if Skye has settled into a quiet rhythm, inviting you to pause, to reflect, to simply exist within its presence. The Isle of Skye is not just a destination, it's an experience that stays with you. It's the feeling of standing somewhere so beautiful, so raw, that words almost fail to capture it. It's the sense of wonder that follows you long after you've left, reminding you that places like this still exist in the world. And as you take one last look across its wild landscapes, one thing becomes certain. Skye doesn't just show you its beauty, it leaves a mark on you, a memory that feels as timeless as the land itself. What if a place could make you feel something before you even understand why? A place where silence speaks louder than words, and every shadow carries the weight of history? Welcome to Glencoe, one of Scotland's most powerful and unforgettable landscapes. This is not just a valley, it's a feeling, a presence, a story carved into the earth itself. As the journey into Glencoe begins, the road narrows and the mountains rise, slowly closing in around you. Towering peaks stand on either side, their slopes steep and commanding, as if guarding the valley's secrets. The light here moves differently. Clouds drift low, brushing against the mountains, casting shifting shadows that transform the entire landscape from moment to moment. It feels alive, constantly changing, never still. There's a quiet intensity in Glencoe. Unlike the dramatic chaos of cliffs or crashing waves, this place holds a deeper, more emotional energy. The valley stretches wide and open, yet somehow feels enclosed, as if it's holding something within. Rivers wind gently through the land, reflecting the sky like silver threads, while patches of grass glow in shades of green that seem almost unreal. But Glencoe is more than just natural beauty. It's a place shaped by history. As you move through the valley, there's an unspoken awareness of the past. This land has witnessed moments of great significance, stories that still echo through its hills. You may not hear them directly, but you feel them in the stillness, in the wind, in the way the mountains stand so silently, yet so powerfully. Walking through Glencoe, every step feels meaningful. The ground beneath you is uneven, textured, shaped by centuries of weather and time. The air is cool, carrying the scent of earth, grass, and distant rain. There's a sense of connection here, as if the landscape is inviting you to slow down, to look closer, to truly see. As the day unfolds, the valley reveals different moods. In the early light, everything feels soft and calm, the mountains gently illuminated by a pale glow. As the sun rises higher, the contrast deepens, shadows sharpen, colors become richer, and the textures of the land stand out with striking clarity. It's a place that rewards patience, where the more time you spend, the more it gives back. And then there are the moments when the weather shifts. A sudden mist rolls in, wrapping the valley in a veil of mystery. The peaks begin to disappear, one by one, until only silhouettes remain. It's in these moments that Glencoe feels most powerful, when visibility fades and imagination takes over. The unknown becomes part of the experience, adding depth to the already breathtaking scenery. Along the roadside, small waterfalls cascade down the rocky slopes, their gentle flow adding a quiet rhythm to the landscape. These details might seem small, but in Glencoe, every element matters. Every stream, every rock, every patch of grass contributes to a larger, more complete picture. As evening approaches, the valley transforms once again. The light softens, turning the mountains into shades of gold and deep amber. The sky begins to open up, revealing layers of color that reflect across the land. Shadows stretch longer, and the entire scene takes on a cinematic quality that feels almost unreal. Standing in the middle of Glencoe during sunset is something you don't forget. There's a stillness that settles over the valley, a quiet pause before night takes over. It's in this moment that everything feels perfectly balanced. The light, the air, the landscape, all working together to create something truly unforgettable. And when darkness finally arrives, Glencoe doesn't lose its presence, it changes it. The mountains fade into the night, becoming silhouettes against a sky filled with stars. The valley grows quieter, deeper, more reflective. It's a different kind of beauty, one that doesn't rely on what you can see, but on what you can feel. Glencoe is not just a place you visit, it's a place that stays with you. It's the kind of landscape that leaves an impression long after you've gone, a memory that feels as real as the moment you experienced it. And as you take one last look across its vast, silent beauty, one thing becomes clear. This is more than scenery. This is Scotland at its most powerful, most emotional, and most unforgettable. What if the road itself became the destination? A journey so raw, so untamed, that every turn reveals something completely unexpected? Welcome to the North Coast 500, Scotland's ultimate coastal adventure, where the land meets the ocean in a dramatic collision of cliffs, beaches, and endless horizons. This is not just a drive, it's a story that unfolds mile by mile. As the journey begins, the road stretches ahead like a ribbon through the wild. There's a sense of anticipation in the air, a feeling that something extraordinary is waiting just beyond the next curve. The landscapes start gently, rolling hills and quiet countryside, but it doesn't take long before the scenery begins to shift. The terrain grows rugged, the coastline draws closer, and suddenly, the vast Atlantic Ocean appears powerful, endless, and impossible to ignore. Driving along the northern edge of Scotland feels like moving through a living painting. On one side, steep cliffs rise sharply from the land, their edges shaped by centuries of wind and rain. On the other, the ocean crashes against the rocks below, sending waves of white foam into the air. The sound is constant, a deep, rhythmic pulse that follows you as you continue forward. And then, without warning, the road leads you to places that feel almost hidden from the world. Small beaches appear between towering cliffs, their sands untouched and their waters glowing in shades of turquoise and deep blue. It's a surprising contrast, the wild, rugged surroundings giving way to moments of calm, almost tropical beauty. Standing on one of these beaches, you feel a sense of isolation, as if you've discovered something few others have seen. The North Coast 500 is full of these contrasts. One moment, you're navigating narrow roads that wind through dramatic landscapes, and the next, you're passing through quiet villages where life moves slowly and simply. Stone cottages sit close to the road, their walls weathered by time, their windows reflecting the changing sky. There's a warmth here, a quiet sense of community that feels deeply connected to the land. As you continue, the journey becomes more intense. The roads grow steeper, the turns sharper, and the views even more breathtaking. Each stop offers something new, a towering sea stack rising from the ocean, a waterfall cascading down a cliff, or a viewpoint that stretches out across miles of untouched coastline. It's impossible to rush this experience. Every moment invites you to pause, to step out, to take it all in. There's a feeling of freedom that comes with this journey. No crowds, no distractions, just you, the road, and the raw beauty of Scotland. The wind carries the scent of salt and earth, and the ever-changing sky adds a dynamic element to the landscape. Clouds move quickly, casting shadows that shift across the land like waves. Light breaks through unexpectedly, illuminating parts of the coastline in a way that feels almost cinematic. And then there are the moments when everything aligns perfectly. The road curves just right, the light hits the ocean at the perfect angle, and for a brief second, the entire scene feels like something out of a film. These are the moments that stay with you, the ones you can't fully capture, but never forget. As the day begins to fade, the North Coast 500 reveals one of its most magical sides. The golden hour transforms the entire landscape, softening the rugged edges and bathing everything in warm light. The ocean reflects the colors of the sky, shifting between gold, orange, and deep blue. The cliffs take on a new character, their textures highlighted in a way that feels almost unreal. Stopping at a viewpoint during sunset, you realize just how vast and untouched this place truly is. There's a silence that settles over the land, broken only by the distant sound of waves. It's peaceful, yet powerful, a reminder of the natural world in its purest form. And as night falls, the journey doesn't lose its magic, it deepens. The sky opens up, revealing countless stars scattered across the darkness. With no city lights to interfere, the night feels clearer, closer, more connected. The road ahead fades into shadow, but the experience remains vivid. The North Coast 500 is more than a route. It's an adventure that captures the essence of Scotland's wild beauty. It's a journey that challenges you, surprises you, and ultimately leaves you with a sense of awe that's hard to describe. And as you look back on the miles you've traveled, one thing becomes clear. This is not just a road you drive. It's a story you become part of, a memory that stays with you long after the journey ends. What if a place could hold a mystery so deep that it has captured the imagination of the world for generations? A place where calm waters hide untold secrets beneath the surface. Welcome to Loch Ness, one of Scotland's most iconic and intriguing landscapes, where beauty and legend exist side by side. This is not just a lake, it's a story that continues to unfold, one ripple at a time. As you approach Loch Ness, the atmosphere begins to shift. The land opens up, revealing a vast stretch of dark, still water that seems to go on forever. Surrounded by rolling hills and dense forests, the loch feels both peaceful and powerful. The surface is often calm, reflecting the sky like a mirror. Yet there's something beneath that calm, a sense of depth, of mystery, that draws you in. The sheer scale of Loch Ness is impossible to ignore. It stretches for miles, its waters deep and cold, holding more fresh water than all the lakes in England and Wales combined. Looking out across its surface, it's easy to understand why so many stories have been born here. The water appears almost black at times, absorbing light rather than reflecting it, creating an illusion of endless depth. And then there's the legend, the story of the Loch Ness Monster. For decades, people have reported sightings of a mysterious creature moving through these waters, a presence that has become part of the loch's identity. Whether myth or reality, the idea adds an undeniable layer of intrigue. As you stand at the edge of the water, watching the gentle movement of the surface, you can't help but wonder what lies beneath. But Loch Ness is more than just its legend. The surrounding landscape offers a beauty that feels calm, grounded, and deeply connected to nature. Forests line the shores, their reflections blending seamlessly with the water. Small paths wind through the trees, leading to quiet viewpoints where you can sit and take in the scene without interruption. It's a place that invites stillness, a rare kind of peace that feels almost timeless. Along the banks of the loch, history reveals itself in subtle ways. The ruins of Edinburgh Castle stand proudly against the backdrop of water and sky, a reminder of Scotland's past. Its weathered stones tell stories of battles, of lives lived centuries ago. Standing within its walls, looking out across the loch, you feel a connection between past and present, a sense that this place has always been significant. As the day progresses, the light over Loch Ness begins to change, and with it, the entire mood of the landscape. Morning brings a soft, gentle glow, with mist often rising from the water, creating an almost dreamlike atmosphere. By midday, the scene becomes clearer, more defined, with the surrounding hills standing out in sharp detail. And as evening approaches, everything softens. Once again, sunset at Loch Ness is something truly special. The sky transforms into shades of gold, orange, and deep purple, reflecting across the water in a way that feels almost surreal. The surface of the loch becomes perfectly still, capturing every color, every shift in light. It's a moment of quiet beauty, where time seems to slow down, allowing you to fully absorb the experience. And then comes the night. The darkness settles gently over the landscape, and the loch takes on a completely different character. Without the light, the water becomes even more mysterious, its surface blending into the shadows. The surrounding hills fade into silhouettes, and the sky above fills with stars. It's in this moment that the legend feels closest, when the silence is deepest and the imagination is free to wander. There's something about Loch Ness that stays with you. It's not just the views or the stories, or even the sense of mystery. It's the feeling of being part of something larger, something that has existed long before and will continue long after. It's a place that doesn't demand attention, but quietly earns it. As you take one last look across the still, dark waters, you realize that Loch Ness is more than a destination. It's an experience shaped by nature, history, and imagination. And whether you came for the legend or the landscape, you leave with something more, a memory that lingers, a question that remains, and a connection to a place that feels truly timeless. What if a single place could capture the entire spirit of a nation? A place where history stands still, where every stone holds a memory, and where the landscape itself feels like a scene from a timeless story. Welcome to Eilean Donan Castle, one of Scotland's most iconic and breathtaking landmarks. Set at the meeting point of three great sea lochs, this is more than a castle. It's a symbol of heritage, resilience, and quiet strength. As the journey begins, the road winds gently through the Highlands, revealing glimpses of water and distant mountains. And then, almost suddenly, it appears, rising from a small island. Surrounded by calm, reflective waters, Eilean Donan Castle stands with a presence that is both powerful and peaceful. The stone walls, weathered by centuries of wind and rain, seem to blend seamlessly into the landscape, as if the castle has always been part of this place. Crossing the narrow stone bridge toward the castle feels like stepping into another time. With each step, the modern world fades away, replaced by a sense of history that is impossible to ignore. The air is quiet, the only sounds coming from the gentle movement of water and the soft whisper of wind across the loch. It's a moment that invites you to slow down, to take in every detail. The setting of Eilean Donan is what makes it truly unforgettable. Surrounded by mountains that rise in the distance, the castle is perfectly framed by nature. The water around it reflects the sky like glass, doubling the beauty of the scene. When the light hits just right, the entire view feels almost unreal, like a painting brought to life. Inside the castle, the story continues. Rooms filled with historical artifacts, wooden beams, and stone walls tell tales of clans, battles, and centuries of life. There's a warmth here, a sense that this place was not just built for defense, but also for living. Each corridor, each window, offers a glimpse into the past, connecting you to the people who once called this castle home. But it's outside, looking back at the castle from a distance, where its true magic reveals itself. Standing along the shoreline, you see it in its entirety, a perfect balance of architecture and nature. The reflections in the water shift with the slightest movement, creating a dynamic scene that feels alive. Clouds drift overhead, casting soft shadows across the stone, adding depth and drama to the view. As the day moves forward, the atmosphere around Eilean Donan continues to change. Morning brings a gentle stillness, with soft light illuminating the castle in a calm, almost delicate way. Midday reveals sharper contrasts, highlighting the textures of the stone and the surrounding landscape. And as evening approaches, everything begins to soften once again. Sunset here is nothing short of cinematic. The sky fills with warm colors, gold, orange, and deep red casting a glow across the water and the castle walls. The reflection becomes even more vivid, creating a mirror image that feels almost perfect. It's a moment that seems to pause time, allowing you to fully appreciate the beauty of where you are. And then, as night falls, the castle transforms into something even more magical. Soft lights illuminate the structure, highlighting its shape against the darkness. The surrounding mountains fade into shadow, while the water reflects the glow of the castle, creating a scene that feels almost dreamlike. The silence deepens, and the entire setting takes on a sense of calm that is both peaceful and powerful. Eilean Donan Castle is more than just a historic site. It's an experience that captures the essence of Scotland. It's a place where the past and present exist together, where nature and architecture come together in perfect harmony. It's a reminder that some places are not defined by time, but by the feeling they create. As you take one last look at the castle, standing strong against the backdrop of mountains and water, one thing becomes clear. This is not just a place you visit, it's a place you remember, a place that stays with you long after the journey ends, as a symbol of everything that makes Scotland truly unforgettable. What if you found a place in Scotland that felt like it belonged to another world, where the sand is as white as snow, the water glows in shades of turquoise, and the silence feels almost sacred? Welcome to the Isle of Harrison Lewis, a destination that quietly defies everything you expect from the Scottish landscape. This is where rugged wilderness meets unexpected serenity, where every view feels like a hidden secret waiting to be discovered. As the journey begins, the road stretches through open, untouched terrain. The land here feels vast and empty, yet full of quiet beauty. Rolling hills fade into the distance, scattered with rocks and patches of green that seem to shift color with the changing light. There's a sense of isolation, but not in a lonely way, more like a peaceful separation from the noise of the world. And then, without warning, the coastline reveals itself. Luscantire Beach appears like a dream, wide, open, and impossibly beautiful. The sand is soft and pale, stretching for miles, while the water shimmers in colors that seem almost unreal for Scotland. Shades of blue and green blend together, reflecting the sky in a way that feels more tropical than northern. It's a contrast that catches you off guard, making you pause, take a breath, and simply absorb the moment. Walking along the beach, the only sounds are the gentle movement of waves and the distant call of seabirds. There are no crowds, no distractions, just space, silence, and the rhythm of nature. The wind moves freely across the land, carrying with it a freshness that feels pure and untouched. Every step feels light, every moment unhurried. But Harrison Lewis are not just about beaches, they are about balance. Move inland, and the landscape shifts once again. Rocky hills rise from the earth, their surfaces rough and weathered, shaped by centuries of wind and rain. Small lochs appear unexpectedly, their still waters reflecting the sky like mirrors. It's a land of contrasts, where softness and strength exist side by side. Scattered across this wild terrain are small villages, where life moves slowly and simply. White cottages stand against a backdrop of hills and sea, their presence adding warmth to the otherwise untamed environment. There's a sense of community here, a connection to the land that feels genuine and deeply rooted. People greet each other with ease, and time seems to follow a different rhythm, one that isn't rushed or pressured. As the day unfolds, the light plays a crucial role in shaping the experience. Clouds drift across the sky, casting shadows that move like waves over the land. One moment, the beach is bathed in bright sunlight. The next, it's softened by a gentle overcast glow. These changes don't take away from the beauty, they enhance it, adding layers and depth to every scene. Exploring further along the coast, you begin to notice details that might have gone unseen at first. Patterns in the sand, created by the tide, small shells scattered along the shore, the subtle shift in color where land meets water. It's in these details that the true character of Harrison Lewis reveals itself, a place that rewards those who take the time to look closely. As evening approaches, the entire landscape begins to transform. The light softens, turning the sand into shades of gold and the water into deeper tones of blue. The hills catch the last rays of sunlight, glowing briefly before fading into shadow. It's a quiet, almost emotional moment where everything feels perfectly still. Sunset here is not loud or dramatic. It's gentle, subtle, and deeply beautiful. The sky fades slowly, blending colors in a way that feels natural and effortless. The reflection on the water becomes softer, more muted, creating a calm, almost meditative atmosphere. It's the kind of moment that invites reflection, a chance to simply be present. And when night arrives, the islands take on a different kind of beauty. With little light pollution, the stars appear brighter, clearer, stretching across the sky in endless patterns. The silence deepens, and the connection to nature feels even stronger. It's a reminder of how vast the world truly is, and how rare it is to experience a place like this. The Isle of Harrison Lewis is not just a destination, it's a feeling. It's the calm that settles over you as you walk along an empty beach, the wonder that comes from seeing something unexpected, the peace that comes from being surrounded by untouched beauty. And as you take one last look across the endless shoreline, one thing becomes certain. This is not just a place you visit. It's a place that stays with you, quietly, deeply, long after you've left its shores. What if you could walk through a city where every street feels like a page from history, where ancient stone walls rise beside modern life, and where every corner holds a story waiting to be discovered? Welcome to Edinburgh, a city that doesn't just exist in the present, it lives in every moment of its past. This is where Scotland's soul reveals itself in its most vivid and unforgettable form. As the journey begins, the skyline of Edinburgh instantly captures your attention. Rising above the city, Edinburgh Castle stands tall on its volcanic rock, watching over everything below. It's impossible to ignore, a symbol of strength and history that has defined this city for centuries. The closer you get, the more you feel its presence, not just as a structure, but as a witness to time itself. Walking along the Royal Mile, the heart of the old city, feels like stepping into another era. Cobblestone streets stretch between historic buildings, their textures worn by countless footsteps over hundreds of years. The atmosphere here is alive, filled with the sound of distant music, quiet conversations, and the soft echo of footsteps against stone. Every alleyway, every narrow close, invites you to explore further, to uncover something hidden just out of sight. There's a unique energy in Edinburgh, a blend of past and present that feels seamless. Street performers bring life to ancient surroundings, while small shops and cafes add warmth and character to the historic setting. It's a city that never feels frozen in time. Instead, it evolves while holding on to everything that came before. As you move higher through the city, the views begin to open up. From elevated points, the contrast becomes clear: the structured elegance of the new town, with its wide streets and orderly design, set against the organic, winding layout of the old town. And beyond it all, the horizon stretches out to hills and distant landscapes, reminding you that nature is never far away. Then there's Arthur's Seat, rising just beyond the city center. This ancient volcanic peak offers one of the most breathtaking perspectives in Edinburgh. The climb is steady, each step bringing you closer to a view that feels more expansive with every moment. Reaching the top, you're met with a scene that captures everything: the city below, the coastline in the distance, and the sky stretching endlessly above. It's a moment that feels both grounding and freeing at the same time. Back in the city, Edinburgh reveals its quieter side. Gardens tucked between streets, hidden courtyards, and peaceful corners offer a break from the energy of the main paths. These spaces feel intimate, almost secret, adding another layer to the city's character. It's here that you begin to notice the details, the textures of the stone, the patterns in the architecture, the subtle shifts in light throughout the day. As afternoon turns to evening, the city begins to change. The light softens, casting a warm glow over the buildings and streets. Shadows grow longer, and the atmosphere becomes more reflective. The castle, once bright and commanding, now takes on a deeper, more dramatic presence against the fading sky. Sunset in Edinburgh is a quiet spectacle. The sky transforms into layers of color: soft pinks, deep oranges, and fading blues reflecting off windows and stone surfaces alike. The city seems to slow down, as if pausing to take in its own beauty. It's a moment that feels cinematic, where everything aligns perfectly. And when night falls, Edinburgh becomes something entirely different. The streets glow under soft lights, creating a sense of warmth against the cool evening air. The castle, illuminated against the dark sky, feels even more powerful, its silhouette standing as a reminder of everything the city has endured and become. The sounds of the city shift quieter, more intimate, yet still alive. Laughter drifts from nearby streets, music echoes softly, and the rhythm of the city continues in a more subtle way. It's not loud or overwhelming, it's balanced, inviting, and deeply atmospheric. Edinburgh is not just a city you visit, it's a city you experience. It's in the way the past and present coexist, in the feeling of walking through history, while being fully present in the moment. It's in the details, the views, the atmosphere that surrounds you at every turn. And as you stand there, looking out over the city one last time, one thing becomes clear. Edinburgh doesn't just show you its story, it lets you become part of it, even if only for a moment. And that moment is something you carry with you, long after the journey ends. What if you could stand at the very edge of the world, where land simply ends, and beyond it lies nothing but endless ocean and sky? Welcome to the Cliffs of Moher's Scottish counterpart, the dramatic cliffs of Orkney and the Northern Isles where nature reveals its most raw and powerful form. This is a place where the wind never truly rests, and the horizon stretches farther than the eye can follow. As the journey begins, the northern landscapes feel different from the rest of Scotland. There's a starkness here, a simplicity that strips everything back to its purest form. The land is open, shaped by time and the weather, with few distractions. Grasslands roll gently toward the edge, where the earth suddenly drops away into the vastness of the sea. Approaching the cliffs, you begin to hear it before you see it, the deep, constant roar of the ocean. It grows louder with every step, building a sense of anticipation that's impossible to ignore. And then, suddenly, the view opens up. Towering cliffs plunge dramatically into the crashing waves below, their edges sharp and unyielding. The scale is overwhelming, the kind of sight that makes you stop without thinking. Standing at the edge, there's a feeling that's hard to describe. The wind moves freely, strong and steady, pushing against you as if reminding you of the power of this place. The ocean below is alive with motion, waves crashing against the rocks with relentless force. It's not chaotic, it's rhythmic, almost hypnotic, a constant reminder of nature's strength. The cliffs themselves are a masterpiece of texture and form. Layers of rock reveal the passage of time, each line telling a story of centuries, shaped by wind and water. Seabirds circle overhead, diving and gliding effortlessly, their presence adding movement to the stillness of the land above. It's a scene that feels both harsh and beautiful at the same time. Walking along the cliff edges, the perspective constantly shifts. One moment, you're looking out across an endless horizon, where sea and sky blend into one. The next, you're peering down into the depths below, where waves break against the rocks in bursts of white foam. Each step reveals something new, a different angle, a different feeling. There's a sense of isolation here, but it's not empty, it's freeing. Without the noise of cities or the presence of crowds, your attention sharpens. You notice the details, the way the wind changes direction, the subtle shift in light as clouds pass overhead, the sound of distant waves echoing through the cliffs. It's an experience that pulls you fully into the moment. As the day unfolds, the cliffs take on different moods. Under bright light, they appear bold and defined, their edges clear and striking. But when clouds move in, the atmosphere shifts. Shadows deepen, the colors become more muted, and the entire landscape feels more dramatic, almost mysterious. It's a reminder that this place is constantly changing, never fixed, never predictable. And then comes the moment when the sun begins to set. The light softens, casting a golden glow across the cliffs and the ocean below. The waves catch the light, reflecting it in shimmering patterns that stretch out toward the horizon. The sky transforms into layers of color, each one blending into the next in a way that feels almost unreal. Standing there during sunset, everything seems to slow down. The wind softens slightly, the sounds become quieter, and the entire scene feels balanced, almost peaceful. It's a contrast to the raw energy of the cliffs during the day, a reminder that even the most powerful places have moments of calm. As darkness begins to fall, the cliffs fade into silhouette, their sharp edges outlined against the last light of the sky. The ocean becomes a darker, deeper presence, its movement still constant, still powerful, but now hidden beneath the surface of the night. And when the stars appear, the experience becomes something else entirely. With no artificial light to interfere, the sky opens up in a way that feels infinite. The cliffs, once the main focus, now become part of a larger picture, a connection between land, sea, and sky that feels almost timeless. This northern edge of Scotland is not just a place you visit, it's a place you feel. It's the power of standing at the boundary between land and ocean, the realization of how vast the world truly is, and the quiet understanding of your place within it. And as you take one last look across the endless horizon, one thing becomes certain. This is not just a view, it's an experience that stays with you. A memory shaped by wind, water, and the raw beauty of Scotland at its most untamed. What if there were a place in Scotland where time seemed to slow, where the rolling hills, misty valleys, and winding lochs combined into a living painting that captures the soul? Welcome to the Scottish Highlands, the crown jewel of the nation's natural beauty, where every glance reveals something extraordinary, and every step feels like a journey into the heart of the land itself. This is a region where legends are born, where history breathes through the earth, and where the sheer scale of the landscape leaves you both humbled and inspired. As the journey begins, the Highlands stretch endlessly before you. Mountains rise like guardians of an ancient world, their peaks shrouded in clouds that drift lazily across the sky. The valleys between them are lush and green, dotted with sparkling lochs that reflect the surrounding landscape with remarkable clarity. There's a rhythm here, a flow to the land that feels timeless, as if it has existed unchanged for centuries. Driving through the winding roads of the Highlands, each turn reveals a new perspective. A narrow glen opens into a wide valley. A hidden waterfall tumbles into a crystalline pool, or a solitary stone cottage sits quietly against the backdrop of rolling hills. The scenery is cinematic, almost unreal in its perfection, and yet it feels natural, untouched, and genuine. Every sight seems carefully framed, as if the land itself is presenting a masterpiece for you to witness. The Highlands are not only about wide vistas, they're about intimate moments as well. Walking along a quiet trail, the sounds of nature dominate. The soft rush of a stream, the distant call of a bird, the rustle of leaves in the wind. Moss-covered stones and ancient trees hint at the passage of time, each element adding to the sense that this is a land with deep memory and presence. There's a quiet magic here, subtle but undeniable. And then there are the lochs, glimmering jewels scattered throughout the region. Loch Ness may be famous for its legend, but there are countless other lochs, each with its own character. Some are broad and mirror-like, reflecting mountains and sky in perfect symmetry. Others are narrower, lined with reeds and wildflowers, their surfaces rippling gently with the wind. Standing at their shores, you feel both serenity and awe, aware of the power and depth of the natural world. The Highlands also carry a sense of history that permeates the land. Ancient castles, weathered. Stone walls and standing stones tell stories of clans, battles, and generations long past. Visiting these places, you can almost hear the echoes of history, the clashing of swords, the murmur of village life, the solemnity of centuries that have shaped the land. Every ruin, every monument adds layers of meaning to the breathtaking scenery. As the day progresses, the Highlands reveal their dramatic versatility. Morning light brings a gentle, ethereal glow, softening the edges of hills and lochs and filling the valleys with mist that drifts like a dream. By afternoon, the sun casts stronger light, enhancing the textures of rock and grass, making colors more vivid, more alive. And as evening approaches, shadows stretch and deepen, giving the mountains a majestic, almost mystical presence. Sunset in the Highlands is a moment that takes your breath away. The sky transforms into brilliant hues of gold, pink, and violet, while the lochs catch every shade in their reflective waters. Clouds streak across the sky, moving slowly as if in harmony with the rhythm of the land. Light and shadow create patterns on the hills, revealing every contour and every hidden corner. It's a scene of quiet grandeur, one that makes you pause and simply exist in the moment. And when darkness falls, the Highlands become serene yet powerful. Stars appear in abundance, sparkling over open valleys and still lochs, illuminating the vastness of the sky. The landscape takes on a deep, mysterious character. The mountains fade into silhouettes, the lochs darken into infinite mirrors, and the wind carries whispers of a land ancient and enduring. In the quiet of night, the Highlands' essence feels more profound than ever. The Scottish Highlands are more than just a destination. They are an experience, a journey into the soul of the land. They teach patience and wonder, offering moments of calm, awe, and reflection. The land moves at its own pace, inviting you to slow down, to look deeper, and to feel fully alive in its presence. Every mountain, every valley, every loch tells a story, one that becomes part of your own. As you take one last sweeping glance across the Highlands, from misty peaks to sparkling waters, you realize that this is a place that stays with you forever. It's not just the scenery, the history, or the legends, it's the feeling of connection, the sense that you've witnessed something truly timeless. The Scottish Highlands do not merely show you beauty, they leave an imprint on your heart, a memory you carry with you, reminding you that some places are not just visited, but deeply experienced. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear from you.